we go. The kids are watching a violent movie, so you might hear gunshots and stuff, so that's okay. It's a little late. It's 7:40. It's all right. It's not too bad. What we're going to do is we're going to start the practice test. I'm going to start with number 1 through 5. Just so the video is, well, I'll explain it in class. Anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to look at this graph, and 1 through 5 apply to here. So if we want to do the range, we need to understand what the lowest value is, and we go to the highest. Okay, so remember, range works like this. Okay, now range, the lowest value that is included is -4. So -4 is good, and then we go higher. Now what we do is we just make sure that our graph covers particular values on the for y coordinates. And so this guy actually is a problem, but you'll see that actually 1 would normally not be included in our range, but it is included here and here, so 1 is good. So what we do is we go up to 2. That's actually the highest value. Now it's actually very important though that this was stopped here. If this would have been an arrow, then this would have been negative infinity. But it looks like we go up to 2, but we don't quite touch it. And so that's our range. Now the domain is the spread of the x values. Can you guys turn that down a little bit? Just a little bit? All right, so as we go to the domain, we're going to go from the left to the right. All right. Now the problem here is that we start at -5, we move over to -3, and then it stops. There's a hole there. And so we have -5 goes to -3, but we cannot include -3 because he is a hole. And so that's why we have the open parentheses. But then immediately on the other side of 3, it jump starts again. And so we'll put a U to show that it's broken up into pieces. So then -3, notice how -3 is not included, but we go up to it and then we flip over to the other side. For whatever reason, -3 would cause an error on this graph. All right, and so, all right, and then -3 is going to go down across all the way to -3. We'll go all the way, we're good up until 4. All right, and then we stop. All right, so we've got one piece, and then this is one giant second piece. All right, now where are the intervals positive? So remember, positive means that we just want the part of the graph that is actually above the x-axis. And so what I see there is I see 3 pieces. I see 1, 2, and 3. Those 3 pieces are actually above the x-axis. So what I've got to do is, now remember, positive intervals, I don't include 0. So these will always be in parentheses, not brackets. So increasing or positive intervals are going to go from negative. Now, I only care about the domain here when I talk about intervals. Okay, the range is just the range. That's just the y values. But when I talk about intervals, that has to be the x value, okay, the domain. So anyways, going from -4 to -2. Okay, then it's nothing, right? Because he's not even included here. I'm sorry, that's -3. All right, and then we go from -3 to -2, and then it goes negative. Okay, so now it goes underneath until it gets to 2, and then from 2 to 4 is where it's positive. All right, that's the answer. Now the x-intercepts is where does it hit the x-axis? And we see that they are at -5, 0. They're at -2, 0. And +2, 0. Now notice that I have not put U's there, I've put commas. These commas imply that these are points and not intervals, okay? So that's a very important distinction. All right, so the last one for this, we're nice. We're at 4-minute mark, good. All right, so the average rate of change over the interval of 0 to 2. Now that's this segment right here, 0 to 2. All right, so this is the average rate of change that I want to look over. Okay, the average rate of change means that if I want to connect this part of the graph to this part of the graph, I need to know its slope. Okay, how is it changing as we move from 0 to 2? Now what will happen is you will notice you can actually count this. All right, because it's on a graph, you can count it. We're going up 4, and over 2. Okay, so we are going up 4 over 2. Okay, so we're going to say that up m slope is 4 over 2. All right, so the average rate of change is 2 units per unit. Okay, all right, that's 1 through 5.